if you remember in the previous couple of videos, we learned about how you can select elements in HTML using JavaScript using DOM, and how you can manipulate the data using DOM manipulation. All right, now we are going to learn a lot more things of DOM, which I would call advanced DOM, things like event listeners and stuff. And a very happy thing for you is that we are going to do all this via project. Okay, so that's why like it would be very good for you, because you would, first point, you would get something to put in your resume or CV, because this is going to be a very great project. Okay, and the second thing is it would be more fun, learning through applying. That is the biggest fun. Okay, we did it in previous videos as well. Okay, great. Now what I want here is okay, here is my drive, and here I have like added a starting zip file. You can just download it, extract it, and open it in your Visual Studio Code. Okay, this is the file which I extracted here, and then I opened it in the Visual Studio, and it looks something like this. Now if I go live to see what exactly this, so this is the file, drum kit. Basically what would happen, that if I click on any of these buttons, you would hear a sound. Okay, and like nothing is happening right now because obviously nothing is written in the project, but if you click on the button, you would hear some sound. And if we click the key, which is WASDJKL, it would give the respective sound as well. Okay, so this is all we are going to put in our code. Now I have this code, and another thing is that I have not added any what should I say, like I have my JavaScript file here, but I have not added it in our HTML. Okay, so the thing is how you would add it in your HTML. Okay, so yeah, you may pause the video, I would say, and try to do it on your own. Okay, so I hope you tried it, and let me try it as well. What I'll do, I'll write script. Here I'll give my source as index.js, right? And my index.js, I'll simply put an alert, let's say hello, to check if it is working or not. If I go over here, okay, it has been linked and it is working fine. Great. Now what I want is that if I click on any of the button, it should give me, what should I say, like any alert. Okay, now in order to do so, in order to, like, if I click on this button or this button or any button, in order to start registering the button clicks, I need to add something what we call an event listener to the buttons. So what we are going to do, we are going to go to MDN, event listeners, MDN. I'll just open it, and here you can see event listener method basically adds. Okay, let's just go to event listener. This is add event listener. Okay, it is taking me to here on event target, let's say. Okay, let me see if we can see what is event listener exactly. Okay, so basically you know about event, right? Event is basically, what I can say, anything happening that can be, let me do one thing, let me just close all this, and okay, if I click on this button, that is an event clicking. Okay, So things like that basically are called events, and event listeners are basically, something that listens to that sees, okay, you have done something, I would respond to it via something which the code is right. Okay, great. Now how to basically add an event listener? It is, basically done using add event listener method. So add event listener method basically, uh, method of event target. It sets up a function that will be called whenever the specified event is delivered to the target. Now this method basically works by adding a function or an object that implements event listener. Okay, then you can come to the syntax. Basically syntax is basically we use this one mostly, type and listener. Listener is mostly a function. Okay, okay. Now let me do it with the code so you would be able to relate to it. Let's add a function called handle click, which would give me an alert. Let's say I got clicked. Okay, works. Now I want to add this to our button. Let me add this to our first button. So how you'll say, you will first select that button using query selector. Let's say button, and what after that you will say add event listener, and then we saw we need two parameters. One is type and one is listener. So what is type? Basically types are all the events where, we do something, and any event which would occur which would trigger the function. So the one which we would be needing is, let me see if I can find it. Okay, let me see, let me just go back up. That is event index. Okay, we don't want event index, we want something over here. Give me 1 second, let me see. Okay, click event, finally we got it. If I open it, it's basically an element receives a click event when a pointing device button like mouse primary button is pressed and released while the pointer is located inside the element. So basically when we click over a button, that is what the click event is, and it is used like this. Okay, so simply what I would do, I would say click, and here I would give my function name. Okay, now what would happen? I go back over here, let me see. Yeah, okay. Nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened. But this happened. Well, I told you that if we use this, the first element with the this selector name, which is this, would be selected. Okay, great. Now another thing which I want to talk about is, okay, that is all great, but what if I want to select all the buttons? How you would do that? That is my question. So, if I give it, let's say there is something I told you, query selector all, which would select all the queries and it would return me an array. And here it can be drum, because obviously button can be otherwhere as well. So we use a specific class name called drum. Okay, and then I can use any number over here. But so if you have to, loop it, you know what to use? A loop. You can use a for loop or a while loop. I would use a for loop. First, I would need to find the length. Let me call it length of the number of buttons required. Buttons there. So what I'll say document dot query selector all, I would say dot drum dot, let's say, length. Okay, this would be var add. Now I'll have for var I is equal to 0, I less than length I plus plus. What I'll do, I'll simply just copy this whole code over here and paste it. And I can remove this as well. Let me save it. And let me just put a comment over here, what to do when a button is clicked. Okay. So yeah, I guess that was all. Let me see if everything works or not. Okay. Okay. Let me see if it works now. Okay, it is not working. Why is that? Okay. Something is not right over here. We checked it once, it was working, but why is it not working now? There has to be some problem over here. Let me... Okay, this is dot drum. Yeah. Okay, it works now. Yeah. And we don't need to have this function inside over here. We can have it outside as well. There is no worries. So, okay, you learned about event listener, which is a very important concept, I would say, in DOM manipulation and JavaScript. And so this is our, stepping stone for this project. At least you know how to, if we click on a button, what it would do. At least we know that. Now, more would be coming in the upcoming videos where we would, try to complete this whole project with trying to understand a few more high-level concepts on the way. Oh, alright then, thank you for watching this video and see you later.